Hi, it's Tash from Foxes and Brown Bears Tarot, and today I'm doing my third quarter deck haul. So I haven't actually bought a lot this quarter. I've been very careful of my spending, and in fact, three of the decks I'd had on pre-order for quite some time, or they were indie decks that I was waiting to be produced and had backed and whatnot. So actually, really, in terms of any kind of proper purchase, it's only been three. So the first one is a Druid Craft Tarot. This has been on my wish list forever, and I've been umming and ahhing. I was trying to decide between this and the Wildwood, and decided on the Druid Craft because it was just super beautiful, and I preferred the imagery to it, and I preferred the system. And in general, even though the artwork for the Wildwood is just so beautiful. So this is one produced by Philip and Stephanie Cargom, illustrated by Will Worthington, and it's the this is the edition there. And so I bought this entire pack. I bought the big pack because it has the 192 page guidebook, which is super cool. And so I'm glad I got this. It's a massive box. If you want to compare it to like a standard Hay House box, I mean, that's the difference. Like, it's a massive box. So it's got the cute little ribbon, and got the gorgeous guidebook. Now, the guidebook's great, I have to say, having a page per card, and it's just amazing. I'm actually working through this at the moment. I'm really studying the deck, trying to connect with it. That is my current thing. This is a deck that I'm actually still reading through the guidebook, and what I do is I'll have the cards in order, and I go through and pick up each card and read the section in the guidebook on it, and to help me really understand the symbolism chosen and to help me connect. So that's what I'm currently doing at the moment. Now, I hate these boxes with two parts because they're very stressful to remove the cards. Now, I have trimmed my copy, so I shall warn you, and for some reason I've left it out in the near the heating and it's warped slightly, but I'll flatten it out. So it was actually a perfectly straight deck when I bought it, so don't let that deter you. I think it's partly because I trimmed it and also because I left it out in the open for a while. So the backs obviously aren't perfect because of the trimming, and they obviously had some more of this color around that little gold border, but they are very beautiful backs. Now, I have chosen to trim them just the white borders off because I actually found this border really pretty, and I really wanted to keep the wording, and I felt that this border actually framed the picture really nicely. I didn't want to, I don't know, it just feels like it's a little glimpse into the world, so I actually quite like that. So that's why I chose to do that. So as you can see, they used to have these white borders around, and that's what I've trimmed. So it was a tricky trim job because all the borders weren't actually even, so it took a while, and I think I've done a pretty good job considering. Although I did use a guillotine and measurements and whatnot, so yep. So anyway, this is a gorgeous deck. I absolutely adore it. This is one of my favorite cards. It is glossy. It is very glossy, actually. It makes them nice and slippy. I like slippy cards, and it's got really nice cardstock in my opinion. So yes, and the artwork is absolutely divine. I love it so much, and I'm really looking forward to working with this. Look how gorgeous. And I haven't worked with it yet because, as I said, I'm really wanting to do that in-depth study of the book first, and then I'll start working with it. But that is the deck I'm studying currently this month. So yes, and I'll probably be studying it into next month. well, I don't know, probably all of October, I reckon I'm going to be studying it. So, yes. And it is a gorgeous deck. I really love it. As you can see, I mean, the book is divided up into numerologically. So you've got the aces, twos, the threes, and the fours. That's why I've got it in that order. So it makes it very easy for me to study. But the artwork's gorgeous. And it's a lovely, lovely deck that I'm really enjoying. And I'm very glad that I finally pulled the trigger on this one. And I don't regret getting this at all. This is going to be fabulous. And now that it's trimmed, just wow. It's just so amazing and it feels like mine. And I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I mean, there's heaps of walkthroughs of this. So this isn't a walkthrough or a review because I can't review it. I haven't used it. But just showing you one of my deck hauls. I like watching deck haul videos, so that's why I thought I'd do one. All right, so that's the Druidcraft tarot. All right, then I bought another 4 tarots. So one of the ones that I backed on Indiegogo was the Healing Waves Tarot. And this is my only deck I've ever backed on Indiegogo, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go. And it was just a beautiful experience. I'm so glad I got it, and I love it. It's so beautiful. There are some really nice walkthroughs of this deck, so I haven't done one. But if you'd like me to do one or review later on, please let me know. I'm happy to do one. I just haven't because a few really awesome channels have done some. So it is a 2-piece box, beautiful backs, and it's got that nice kind of matte rose petal-y kind of feel to it. So really, really a lovely deck. And nice finger holds, which I like. I like that a lot. And I don't know. Now they stuck. All right, so that's the inside of the box, really cool. And this deck's divine. Like, it's got that beautiful blue edging. The backs are lovely. And yeah, it's so beautiful rose petal. And it's really lovely, lovely, lovely. And it isn't in order yet because I have finished studying it with the guidebook. Now, I didn't get the full hardcover guidebook. I just got the PDF copy, because I felt that would do for me at this stage. It was just going to be really expensive to get the book for me. So I've kind of read through the guidebook while looking at the cards, but I haven't used it yet. So it's still in order. So, but the artwork's just beautiful. It's all this watercolor and it's just so lovely. And I'm so glad I got this. And yeah, it's all these beautiful marine creatures, and it's got such a nice energy to it, and I'm so pleased I got this. I almost didn't because I'm not a big ocean person. Like, I tend to avoid ocean decks because I'm not into mermaids and things. But oh my gosh, this is like the most beautiful deck, and me, who loves animal decks, is just enchanted by this one. I really, really love it. And I'm going to be pairing it, I think, with Whispers of the Ocean Oracle, which I think will look very, very cool. Work really nicely. It's my only other water deck anyway. Although I do have a mermaid deck, a mermaid oracle, which I don't use a lot, but I could try that too. So yeah, it's a lovely, lovely deck. And yeah, I love the feel of it. It feels super decadent, and very pleased that I bought this one. So yes, so check out those walkthroughs online. All right, so that's the Healing Waves Tarot by Noan Junhasari. Sorry, I don't actually know how to pronounce that. All right, and then the other tarot I bought was a bit of a whim. It was a bit of a splurge, even though it was actually quite an affordable deck. And this is because I actually really like black and white decks. I like monochrome decks. And this just looked amazing. I've watched so many walkthroughs of it, and I just thought, you know what, I really want this. And this was going to be one of my few, I guess, splurges, because considering that of the 6 decks I've got this quarter, 3 of them were either in long-term pre-orders or indie backs. So it's not like I chose to buy them in this particular quarter. And so really what I've done is I've bought 1 deck per month. So I'm pretty happy with that. And this was it. This is the Tarot of the Abyss by Anna Turian, published by US Games. And oh my gosh, I love this deck so much. And I haven't done a walkthrough because once again, there are so many out there that are done probably infinitely better than any that I would do. But if you do want one, let me know. Now, this one, just like the Healing Waves, I have actually gone through and read the guidebook and for each card and worked through it in that sense. But I haven't really worked with the deck as such yet. So that's still on my list because I'm currently working with one of the other decks I'm going to show you. And of course, studying the Druid craft. And so that's kind of what I'm on at the moment. So this is gorgeous. It's got a fair bit for each card. That's what I like about this book, is it actually explains the artwork. And so actually sitting down in the book and then looking at the card next to it really gets you to understand the choices that were made artistically and really helps you appreciate some of the symbolism used. So that was really good. Now, this is lovely. These are the backs. And it's not edge, which I like. I don't actually really, I like either matte edges or no edges are the best for me. Oh, look at the colors on that. Oh my gosh. And it's the beautiful US Games cardstock. Can't fault it. Just that nice matte with just a slight sheen and just beautiful and flexible and lovely. And the artwork is divine. It is divine. And I love that kind of monochrome with the slightly off-white. So it's kind of a creamy color with white. So to me, it's just absolutely perfect. And oh my gosh, this deck is so deep that it's really next on my list to work with. And it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm just really looking forward to working with it, and as soon as I finish working with the other deck I'm currently working with, this is next in line. Very, very excited. I might even kind of introduce it halfway through the month. So yes, I try and work with each deck for about 2 weeks because it gives me time to look at multiple decks over a month, like a couple decks a month, but it also gives me enough time to really delve deeply into them to some extent. So, and get a feel for how it works. But yes, this is gorgeous. If you haven't seen walkthroughs of this, definitely check it out. And I mean, I don't think there's anyone who hasn't heard of this deck or seen some images from it. So yes, that is the Tarot of the Abyss by Anna Turian. Alrighty, so, and then the final tarot deck I bought in this quarter is one that I've wanted for so long, but it was just gonna cost so much money that I just couldn't justify the postage. But I eventually got it just because I adore it. I wanted it so badly. Like, I'm a total science geek. I love science so much, and I just really, really wanted this. And I finally just cracked and got it. And this is by, It's sciencetarot.com. I've done a walkthrough of this, so I'll link it in the cards, but it was one of my recent videos, so you've probably seen that anyway. So I won't go into it in too much detail, but it's got a cute little book that has a page per card, and it does actually explain the choice for the art for each card. And then the packs are lovely. I love them. Now, they are very glossy cards, super glossy cards, and they are kind of that's not slippy glossy, but at the same time it shuffles really nice, and they don't actually stick, so I'm quite happy with them. And yes, and it's all just scientific principles, theories, and scientific laws, all depicted in tarot, and it's amazing. I love this deck so much, and this is the one I'm currently using, and I'm adoring it. Like, it just really is giving me some great readings, mainly because I really like the links of science. I enjoy the symbolism depicted, and I actually really like the borders. It distinguishes the suits and just gives it this kind of quirky, kind of bright, almost 90s look. And oh my God, I love this so much. And even though I was going to study the Druid craft first, this was like, no, I had to study this first, and I had to jump into using this because this is my new baby. I love it. Love it. And so yes, I have been working with this quite substantially, and it does, I've kind of gone through the system in my walkthrough, but the pentacles are magnifying glasses, swords are scalpels, Bunsen burners represent wands, and then beakers represent cups, and then the major arcana are your, where are the major arcana? Oh yeah, they're green. So, and there they just have the numbers, and then the name of the theory, and then the card. And oh, I've mixed those in, and it's super cool. And the courts are like famous scientists, theorists, and oh my God, it's just so awesome. I love this deck. So I'm so glad I finally bought it. I've been thinking about it for so long that, yeah, and I haven't spent much money these 3 months, so I just thought I would treat myself to it, and I'm very happy that I did. All right, so the last 2 decks are Oracle decks, and the first one, I mean, you've seen already. I did a walkthrough of this, the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle by Lorianne Anderson and Juliet Diaz, illustrated by Giada Rose. And this is a Rockpool publication, and it's just really beautiful. It's a lovely, lovely deck. So comes with a lovely little book which actually has a bit of color to it, and gives you quite a lot of information per card. So you've got at least like a 2-page spread for each one. Some of them a little bit more. So this one, for example, poinsettia, then gives you a whole extra bit. Oh, and it's lovely, and it's got some tarot spreads, and yeah, it's lovely. And lovely box. These are the backs. Super cool. They are very glossy. They're the glossy slippy cards. And oh my God, look at this gilding. It's beautiful green, Christmas green. I love it. And here are the cards. And I haven't used this yet, but I'm planning to use it around Christmas. Even though, yes, obviously Christmas here is summer, but I'm still going to use this at Christmas because it gives me Christmas vibes. So even though it's Yule, I mean, I could probably use it in Yule as well, but I will definitely be using it for Christmas. because that's the advantage of living in the Southern Hemisphere. A Yule deck can be used twice a year. Isn't that exciting? Yes. Oh, look at it. Yes, I love this deck. It's so beautiful. And if it reads as well as the Samhain Oracle, I'm going to be ecstatically happy, because that is such a gentle deck. And this one has a far more gentle imagery, and therefore I feel like it's going to be a very, very nice deck to work with. So yes, very happy with this. Once again, I have done a walkthrough of this, so I'll link that in the cards. And all right, and then the final one I've actually ordered so long ago, and then it got mislaid because I moved, because I'd forgotten that I'd ordered it, and I moved and forgot to change my address. Try to work out with a neighbor to try and collect it in my old address, and it just didn't work out. And eventually MJ Cullinane actually got in touch with me and said, well, this deck hasn't been delivered. Have you got a new address? I'm like, yes, 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 I do. So I'm very, very excited, because I've been wanting this for so long, and I'd almost given up on receiving it. So, and this is the Raw Oracle by MJ Cullinane. And this is lovely, 54, trailblazing and inspirational women. And it's gorgeous. It's that artwork from, similar to the Crow Tarot, obviously, and it's just so cute and gorgeous. And it's just got, basically for each person, you've just got a little bit there, and you've just got a little bit of information about who they are. You have a message from the person, and then you have a message for the card. And it's really beautiful. And say, look at these backs, love the backs. And it's kind of a very slippy. This is, I have to say, the nicest cardstock I have ever felt. It is, I mean, they are very flexible. So you can see they're very flexible and feel thin, but they feel so beautiful in your hands. It's like, I can't even comprehend it. It's definitely, it's one of the nicest feeling cardstocks I've ever had. And I keep playing with it because it's just so gorgeous. It feels super luxe. And yes, and the cards are absolutely divine. I love this deck. So I'm just really, really enjoying it. And it's just such a diverse range of women depicted. And oh my gosh, just the way each of them is depicted is done so well. So well. And I love that it's from all kind of different fields of achievements. And so it's really celebrating women who contributed to the world in so many different ways, from all different parts of the world. And wow, it's just incredible. This is an amazing piece of work. And I love this card. And yes, if you haven't seen this deck, do check it out. I probably will do a walkthrough and review of it because I actually think it's worth it. It's definitely a beautiful deck to have a look at. So yes, so that is my deck haul. It's much smaller than my last one because I'm trying to be super fussy about what I'm purchasing, being very, very mindful. But at the same time, like, there are certain decks that I feel would really contribute to my collection, and therefore I have purchased them. So until the next deck haul, and multiple videos in between, see you then, and thank you for watching. Let me know if you want a walkthrough of any of these decks. Thank you so much. Bye.